Hello and welcome to the StrangePlay news recap for the first week of November 2017. I'm Rick.
I'm Simon.
And our first story for this week is a pretty good one for those of you who are interested. Now, it's not the biggest game out there. It's in closed beta at the moment, I think it is. But Dauntless is a Monster Hunter style game and it's free to play, and developers Phoenix Labs have just announced that they are removing loot boxes from their game. They said, and I quote, "A couple of years ago we had taken loot boxes as the de facto choice and we hadn't revisited it. One of the things that we felt was never really the best experience was having a loot box based monetization." So what do you think to this? It's a free to play game, they need to make money, but they've opted for something where they're giving the player a choice instead of throwing in the loot boxes.
Yeah, I think it's a step in the right direction. It depends on what they're replacing it with. I know they said that it's like fixed choices, but it depends how harsh they are and how integral they are to the game. But aside from that, I mean, hats off to them. They've basically made a name for the game by saying this, by coming forward with this news that they've dumped loot boxes. Because everyone fucking hates them.
Yeah.
Nobody likes them. The only people that like them are the people that are making money off them. And to get some good PR, get the name of the game out there, and basically, put yourself on the radar. I mean, I can't really see anything wrong with this as of yet. Can you?
No, not at all. And I do think that it does have something to do with the PR, because I received my beta keys for it earlier.
Right.
So it was closed. I think it's just gone to open, but I've just got my beta keys for it shortly after this news has come out. So if anything, this is going to get people's attention. People are going to want to sign up for the beta to see what's going on.
Yeah.
So I'll actually be able to report in a few days when I've played the thing exactly how it works.
Yeah, they're looking to ride the wave, aren't they?
Yeah.
By the looks of things. I mean, that's off if they can do that. I applaud them. You know?
Yeah, I have no problem with it at all. I am really happy that someone's taken a stance and not just not implementing them, but remove them completely, which is great. And hopefully other companies will start to look at it like, you know, the positive thing to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like one company who has basically shit on loot boxes.
Well, not just loot boxes, microtransactions in whole, from what I gather. No loot boxes in Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, this is great. This is something that I know that you were worried about.
I was.
Yeah, I personally was never worried about it because I didn't think they'd do it because it'd cheapen the experience. But I know that you were worried about it, so I bet...
It's understandable. I mean, fucking every game has them. Even if they don't make any sense, they have them. And like Monster Hunter World or Capcom want to make money, you know. So I think it's a reasonable assumption to make, but I'm so fucking glad that they didn't go down that path. So glad.
It's the quotes from producer Ryozo Sugimoto has said, and I quote, "I think that Monster Hunter has already built that kind of randomized item reward into the gameplay. Whenever you carve a monster after a hunt, you don't know what you're going to get with a certain range. You've got to get certain parts that you almost never get. You've got some of the ones that you don't need to get a lot of. And then there are the rewards for the quests as well. There are some rewards that are standard. There are some that are randomized and a bit bigger or smaller chance of getting them." So, yeah, he's basically said the monsters that you fight are fucking loot boxes.
They are. The loot boxes where you use skill to unlock them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's totally right. He hits the nail on the head. There's nothing that I can add to that would suggest otherwise. Like, he's correct.
He goes on to say, you've already kind of got loot as a core gameplay aspect without having to shove a microtransaction version of it in. Our focus is on wanting to get people to play our action game and feel the kind of satisfaction that comes with the achievement you get with completing a hunt and getting rewards. We want people to have the experience that we've made for them rather than the option to skip the experience. Well fucking said.
It's like, I've said this elsewhere before, but it's like paying for a 5-course meal when you buy a game and then paying someone else to eat it. Buying loot boxes and, you know, like shortcuts and all that other crap that the fucking, you know, have on the marketplace.
Yeah.
And it don't say much for the game, It's saying it's not worth playing. It's basically it's not worth playing. We want you to pay to skip it. So yeah, I'm really proud that they've managed to avoid the lure of what loot boxes could bring to the game. Because no doubt, if it were another company, if it were EA or Activision or Ubisoft that were publishing it, they'd go, oh, you can buy a Rathalos box and you can get 2% chance of getting a plate in it, or a Brachiodeus box and you've got a 4% chance of getting a gem in it or whatever. They could really fuck that game up.
The thing that's so great about it though is that game director Yuya Takuda came out and says, I wouldn't see a paid loot box or paid system for getting random items as fitting Monster Hunter, because it isn't a game where the strength of the items is the key aspect of how you proceed. The idea is that the time you spend hunting and the action part of the game is how you brush upon your skills. And then of course you get rewards for better items. But by skipping out the part where you get better and hunt, if you're simply getting more items, I don't think that would be a very satisfying experience for the players, because it wouldn't even necessarily make it that much more of a time saver if you haven't got the skill to use the items that you've gotten.
We've both been there with players that have come into lobbies that have been carried through their urgents and stuff, haven't we?
Yeah.
And they've just been terrible, and that'd just magnify it.
And that's what it's just said. It's like, if they had a loot box system, then yeah, you could get some shit hot items, you could get some wicked armour, but you wouldn't have the skill to use it.
Yeah, you won't have the skill to fucking utilise it.
But I was thinking about, you know what you said about different companies using, if this was by EA or Warner Brothers or something.
Oh, the microtransaction Hydra.
I think that's the difference on how Eastern developers look at games to how Western developers do. Because there definitely seems to be the thing where all these developers that are putting in the microtransactions and the loot boxes and stuff, they're Western developers.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter, Capcom, is a Japanese, it's an Eastern developed game. And they're looking at it going, no, what's important for us is the experience of the game.
It is.
And it's fucking mind-blowing. And the fact that something that should be standard, the fact that this guy's come out and gone, we're making a game that you have to play and get good at and enjoy. The fact that we're looking at that as revolutionary and going, holy shit, this is amazing, this is newsworthy. I'm like, this isn't even a newsworthy story. I mean, it shouldn't be. It should be the standard.
I think as well, Western perception on, I know this is an unrelated game, but in Earth Defense Force you pick armor boxes up, do you know when you kill the stuff?
Yeah.
There's a percentage chance for them to drop an armor box, and you pick so many armor boxes up and it adds a point. If you finish the level, it adds a point or so many points. So say if you're playing as a fencer and you pick 20 boxes up, you get 10 points of health, do you know, the next game you go in.
Okay.
And they were talking to someone and they were like, oh man, I wish I could just buy armor. And it's like, no, don't do that, because you're just cutting yourself out of game by doing that. That's ridiculous. It don't matter if it's fucking B-movie games like Earth Defense Force or niche titles like Monster Hunter or fucking mainstream stuff like Call of Duty. You shouldn't fucking cut shortcuts into it. Do you know, paid shortcuts? It's mind-blowing that anyone would want that, to buy a game and then to pay more not to fucking play it. And I can't really fucking go any further with that, because there's not much more to be said.
Yeah.
It's all been done.
It's great. And I'm really hoping that it's going to be the beginning of a change in attitude towards loot boxes and stuff. And this leads us into the next story. EA have announced that the Star Wars Battlefront 2 loot crate system has changed.
So before, the progression were all loot box based. Now they've made it so that depending on what class you play, if you're playing heavy or assault or medic, or I'm not entirely sure what the classes are, because I didn't play the beta. I know there's 4 or 5, but depending on which one you focus your time on, that's where the weapons unlock for the most. There are weapons that are in the loot boxes, but they are in the minority. There's still cards in the loot boxes, but you can no longer just give them 50 quid and get gold cards. It's from what I understand, it's the lowest tier card, isn't it?
So yeah, so to quote Eurogamer, they've said the highest tier star card, the Epic, has been removed from loot crates entirely and is now only available by crafting, and that crafting will be level restricted, so you won't be able to buy a load of crates, craft the materials, and then build new weapons and cards and shit.
It's all level gated as well.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just go in and like equip gold tier cards. You need to get to a specific level before it'll allow you to do that, so it might not unfuck the game in the long term, but it's definitely going to make it a more palatable experience in the short term until they actually look at this, because I don't think this is the last time they're going to change this, do you?
No, not at all. Like, it feels like a step in the right direction.
It's a lurch in the right direction. It's not a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
They've moved slightly, and it's better, but
it's limping slowly in the right direction.
Yeah, it took a bit of a battering, didn't it, when it came out, and they've reneged on it a bit, but it's not 100% right.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it changes again shortly after.
Me either.
Shortly after release, like when Blizzard took out the money auction from Diablo 3.
Yeah, that's right.
Stuff like that. But yeah, speaking of Blizzard, did you see that segue? How clever that was, wasn't it?
Yeah, Overwatch has a mass content reveal. There's a new class, a new map coming, and there were a new short featuring Reinhardt as well.
Yeah,
which were really nice.
Okay, so tell me about this new character then.
The new character is called Moira. She's an Irish girl. She's actually a evil healer, which is a novel concept.
Okay.
She's a mishmash of Symmetra, Zenyatta, Sombra. Is it Sombra a little bit? Like, do you know the purple get-up and stuff?
Yeah, she has a very similar outfit to Sombra.
Yeah, she's got like bits of Hanzo in her as well. Like, her ultimate is like this big fucking, do you know, like hyper beam that shoots out, and it heals everything that's in its path, and it kills on the other side as well. So
wow, okay.
Yeah, she looks really, really interesting to play. Like,
she's a villain, isn't she? Though
yeah. Well, in Overwatch lore, she's part of Talon, which is Reaper, Widowmaker, Sombra, and
Doomfist.
Yeah, Doomfist as well. Yeah,
so
forgot about
the last two characters have been villains.
Yeah, I think as well. Like with this, she's a support class, and I think it might sort of level out the everyone wanting to play DPS.
Yeah.
Because everything they fucking released, like Sombra were a DPS, Doomfest were a DPS, Orisa were a tank, and people actually play her. I think she's meant to be quite good. And Anna, of course, was like the first support. She was the first hero put in, and it were hard to get her. But yeah, I think it might cure the imbalance, at least for a little bit, while people work her out and get to know how she works and where she fits in the grand scheme of things.
That'd be nice. That'd be good.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. The new map is Blizzard. Like, it's based on a Blizzard theme park, so it's like crossovers with StarCraft.
Blizzard World, isn't it?
Yeah, Blizzard World. It's got StarCraft, World of Warcraft, Diablo. What's the other thing that they do? Is it Hearthstone?
Hearthstone, yeah.
Yeah, it's got like it's just crossed with everything, like everything under their marquee. It's got like skins and references, and I'm personally not a fan of stuff like that, but I'm almost certainly in the minority.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounds awesome. That sounds... Yeah. It just sounds like a celebration of all things Blizzard.
Yeah, for me, I'm one of those people that I like the crossover stuff. Like on Hanamura, I like the Murloc, that's like integrated with the Overwatch style. And the arcade machines in Hanamura that have got like Garrosh fighting, like a one-on-one fighter.
Okay.
The stuff that's like, it's fitting. I don't like the just complete transplants. I find them very jarring. But, whatever, I mean, they've come... It's all free. It's not going to cost me a fucking dime. So, it's not going to cost anyone a dime.
That's true.
Unless you want to...
Buy some loot boxes.
Yeah. Oh, man. We should call this fucking...
Loot box news.
Strange loot box.
Yeah, welcome to loot box news. Okay, so when are these out? When's the character and map being dropped?
I'm not entirely sure. Usually, the characters and stuff go to PTR on PC first, and then a week after they hit like live servers. So for us people that are playing on console, like I'd expect Moira to be in a week, 2 weeks time, and then the map to be maybe about Christmas time, something like that.
Then it sounds to me like when they're out, we should get together, get a team together, and maybe get a couple of videos, because I haven't played for about a year, so that'd be embarrassing.
Oh, God, that'll be an experience. Yeah. Fucking hell.
Right, before we wrap up, I do just want to add a little bit of bite-sized news, also Blizzard related, and that is they have announced World of Warcraft Legacy servers, which is big news to the old school hardcore World of Warcraft fans.
What is it? Is it pre-Burning Crusade, or?
As far as I'm aware, it's just vanilla. Yeah,
it's just vanilla.
Just vanilla.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So I wonder if eventually, like, they'll put Burning Crusade. Do you know, so you can play from any era if you want.
That would be amazing.
Because apparently Burning Crusade were like the nicest era, wasn't it? For
Well, I didn't get into it till Lich King, so I missed all that. So
yeah, I got into it after you. So mine were like
Cataclysm. You started playing around Cataclysm.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's. I just wanted to throw that in as a little bit of extra news. So that's it for this week. Thank you for listening, and we will both see you next week for the roundup of week 2.
Goodbye.